start the morning off with some corn going to Everly. And then we were supposed to take seed out to Gettysburg, South Dakota, but because of the weather, they had to cancel it. So you can see the corn on the ground there, in my mirror. The bins got over full, and the corn started coming out the vents last week, Friday. So we'll have to see how this works this week, because I had loads of beans coming back tomorrow after we unloaded the seed. I had beans coming from South Dakota back to Sergeant Bluff, but I had to cancel that load, obviously. So I had a load of hauls today that I didn't take, but now they rescheduled the seed beans for Friday, and I had hauls scheduled for Friday. So now, as soon as the office opens at 8 o'clock, I got to call and reschedule my whole week. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. Hey, you can see some corn there. Yeah, there you can see it. Kind of a mess, but they've been taking in more than we can get shipped out. So we're back with round number 2 and here in Washita. And that right there in front of me is Jason, our new guy. He's pulling Damien's trailer. Jason just got loaded, and we're going to do a little change of plans. Damien's going to do a load of soy hulls today. So he's going to do that this afternoon, so he'll get to see how that works. Me and Jason we'll just run corn over to Everly most of it. So it sounds like we'll get all 3 of those soy haul loads back for this week, but yeah, I'll have to drop the 2 loads of beans coming out of South Dakota since we're not doing the seed. I'd rather unload myself. You get a little break, climb out of the truck, or at least do something. But this is our 3rd load. Damien is, he's right in front of me. He just unloaded his 3rd load. So he's getting ready to head to Sheldon to, he's going to get those soy hulls. Take those up to Sioux Falls. So trying to kind of finagle the schedule a little bit. I'm going to try and get it to where we can load that seed at the end of the week on Thursday afternoon, so we can actually head out Thursday night or even get an earlier start Friday morning, so that way I can reschedule those beans for Friday and still try and get that double dip load on the way back. So the seed loads are paid for all miles driven round trip, and there's some beans out in South Dakota that I can get back coming to Sergeant Bluff. So I was hoping to get a load for each one of the trucks on the way back. That way you can kind of double dip. Big old town of Quimby, Iowa. Don't blink, because that's downtown. Well, that'd be it. Oh, Jason got ahead of me. There's Jason. I had to stop and detour and look at some pumpkins for the wife. So we're gonna get preloaded for tomorrow, and then just head back home and call it a night. So it's about 2.5 hours to make a lap, and it says they're closing at 6 ? Oh, I'm assuming it depends on how busy everyone, like Everly or here in Washita, how busy they're going to be, how late they're going to stay open. But yeah, it literally says open till 6 ? On the sign here and the sign over in Everly. So I'm not gonna push it. We're gonna get loaded because it's gonna be 5:30 before I can get back to Everly. So if they close up shop early, That's gonna suck if I gotta come all the way back loaded. So. Spitter spatter on the windshield, so probably timing this out just right. So Ashley just came out and told me that tomorrow we will not be going to Everly. We'll be going over to Greenville, which is just south of Spencer. So that is tomorrow's plan. That South Dakota rain that kind of ruined sawing our seed has now made it our way. Not heavy, just enough to get the bugs off the windshield. But it's Tuesday morning now. Damien did those hauls last night. And he came home grumpy. Because he came home real late. Once again, we call to make sure they have the room. And they didn't have the room. So he sat there for 3 hours while they tried to empty out a bin to make room for his load. So I think that's going to be kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I think I'm going to call and tell him we are done. So he could have gotten 2 more loads in at the co-op. Paid a little bit more money than taking that load up there with those 2 loads he could have taken. And he could have been home by like 5 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. So it's not worth it when you call and the people in the office won't double check with the people in the shop to make sure that what the answer they are giving is actually the correct answer. So I think we're going to be done doing the soy loads. But for today, we got some rain. And we are switching up from hauling corn over to Everly to hauling over to Greenville, which is, I don't know, 10 miles or so south of Spencer, Iowa. So that is today's game plan, and we'll see if that changes. Unloaded in Everly, and we're going to head back to Washta and get our first load going over to Greenville. Kind of an odd setup here. You come around the bend and then you're facing sideways with the world. That's the old scale house. She said they turned that into an apartment building for the seasonal workers. We just got reloaded with round number 2 to Greenville. And my favorite Mexican made me lunch today. She is definitely my favorite. It's a mutual thing though. We have to make her chili soup. She likes her chili. She makes us tamales. And then we had to teach her how to make white man quesadillas, aka the grilled cheese. So the wife and her have a mutual agreement, you know, on trading foods. So yeah, she made what else? Oh, rhubarb strawberry pie. And then I have no idea how to pronounce it. She made us some, it's like a stew. They use like roast and rib meat, and then there's a bunch of chili crap. She's my favorite Mexican. This rain is really gonna mess up our week. We've gotten somewhere right around an inch. On Thursday we have to go pick up some seed, and it sounds like we might not be doing that anymore because we have to park in the field underneath the conveyor, and that field might be too soft now. We do have to do soy hauls tomorrow because there was one I had booked for tomorrow. I told her I would do those since I already had them booked. And with it being wet like this, it's really going to make a mess in the hopper. So I guess we're going to go out with a bang on the soy hauls. Unless I can get the trailer parked in the shop tonight with the fans on. We got ceiling fans in there. Open the tarp, turn the fan on, and see if I can't dry the trailer out really good tonight. As soon as he gives us the thumbs up, we'll close the... Well, I'll start closing the tarp now, I guess. Alright. Well, you're good. It takes almost 3 hours around for here, so we'll probably get one more round and call it a day. It's already 2 o'clock, so... Unless they're open till 6, then I'll run back down and get preloaded for tomorrow. And oh no, I don't. I'm not going to get preloaded for tomorrow because we have the soy hauls. We just talked about that. We'll do one more round and call it a day. That's what we're going to do. At least the truck's not destroyed, right? Hey, that's real nice. We're just gonna throw in like 75 gallons, enough to get us to T tomorrow, and then we'll get the cheap fuel there. All right, I guess not. This crap pays. This irritates the crap out of me. Truck pumps, and they do a $75 charge. The kids are gonna go back and preload, and then I believe they're gonna head right back to Greenville in the morning, and then I'm gonna head straight up to Sioux Falls, get rid of the soy hulls. Last load trips take like 20 minutes round trip, so you can bust out a lot of loads in a big hurry doing that. So, which will be just fine because tomorrow night we have that driver's meeting, and we'll be able to time that out a little better for getting home on time. The bypass in Cherokee is finally open. They raised the road here a few feet because this all flooded like 2 years ago. If you watched our camper videos from back when we had the flooding, we had to get the campers out of Spencer and whatnot. Well, that's the Little Sioux River, and that's the river that flooded through Spencer. It flooded, this is Cherokee, flooded Cherokee. So that bridge has been closed all summer. It's been kind of frustrating trying to get through Cherokee with the truck because you can't go through town. You have to go all the way out and around, drive like 5 miles, end up back in square one almost. So that is super nice that that's back open. We're gonna put the truck in the shop. See, there's my decal I put up there for the guy that loads with the loads the hauls, so he can see when to stop. And I know where my header is, so when I'm loading the seed, I know when to stop. Which I already had an idea, but look how dirty that is. I need to wash it. But let's go see how bad the inside of the hopper looks. No, that's not good. We're gonna have to get that out. That's gonna be all wet corn. Well, that's some nasty wet crap. That's just gonna go in the compost pile. Time to get our last load of hauls out of the way. The hopper looked fairly dry this morning, so let's just pray that nothing sticks today when we go to unload. Well, we'll see if the tarp's gonna close. He filled me full. Oh, this is nasty stuff. All the rain, and then someone made a huge mess. This is like walking on sloppy, nasty, slushy ice water. Alright, come on. Alright, looks like we're gonna climb right over. That should be perfect. Oh yeah. New clutch brake. Ta-da! Once again, wrong paperwork. Not my fault. AGP screw up again. So I had to spend about a half an hour in there so we could get the jumpers all switched around. So AGP can spend the next couple hours getting all their invoices fixed because I'm done doing it. I did it last time. I was here for almost an hour getting it squared away here, and then doing invoicing was a pain in the butt. So I told them I wasn't playing that game again. This is their last load. They can figure it out. Can't see the fence. Where's the fence? Yeah. I told them, I said, this is my last load. I'm done doing this crap. I said, this is a prime example of why. So number one, the contract was 5 to 10 loads a week, and I said we're lucky to get 2. So then we got to move them around all the time because nobody's ready for nothing. Kelly's not back here yet to pull the cover off, but yeah, man, hello. So far so good. We'll go check out upstairs and see what it looks like. Make sure this stuff is sliding out good. So far so good, except for he loaded up my header again. I even put that nice decal on the side for him that says stop. Yeah, it's sliding down the front wall. Should be just fine. Just fine. Alright, story time. We stopped and got some more of the cheap juice at Casey's there in T. While I was there, a lady called that's in charge of contract or whatever for them soy hulls. She thinks she has a plan figured out to make life easier for everyone. So now understand, I'd kind of cut out the middle people on the communication part. So I called directly to Sioux Falls, talked to Purina to make sure they have room for the hull, since we ran into issues with them being full and not being able to take the load. And then also talking to the other trucking company that has the contract, because they'll book both of us with more loads than they can take in a day. So I always call, or he calls, and we figure out how many loads are going in that day, so we know if one of the other has to cancel or who can cancel, and blah blah blah. So now they're fixed, so we don't have to do that, and to make things flow better, they decided it would make more sense for me to go get loaded by 7 o'clock every morning, to just get loaded and go to Sioux Falls. If Sioux Falls is out of room, I am supposed to send an email call Sioux Falls to figure out what a game plan is, and then when they get a game plan figured out, then they'll email me back. So that is the new plan. And I was like, or I can just get the information from the horse's mouth before I even go get loaded, find out they don't have room, so I don't waste my time. But, and then, if I have to do a layover and hold the product overnight, they're going to pay me $50. So, I said, you want me to go get loaded at 7 a.m., drive to Sioux Falls, find out they don't have room, chill out in Sioux Falls till the next morning to see if they have room, and you're going to give me $50 to park the truck for a whole day. Tell me that you don't know how much it costs to operate a truck without telling me you don't know your numbers. We are back and washed, so we're going to grab one load of corn, take that over to Greenville, and then we're going to call it a day. Go home, shower, and get ready for the driver meeting. So we're probably going to call this video done, and then we'll see you guys in the next one when we head over to Gettysburg with some seed beans. Stay safe. See you later.